So I'm not alone in the studio. I have a bunch of people with me right now. I have the first half of the band Medic. The other half will be joining me very soon later on in the show. Now, first off, who is Medic? Medic is a progressive rock/metal band established back in 2005. Everybody's nodding in the studio.
Yes,
Thanks.
that's
I'm going
yes,
good
yes.
so far. Okay, so they're of course obviously based here in Cairo, Egypt. I have with me in the studio right now is Ihab Khalid, lead singer and guitarist.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You are very welcome, good sir. I have Ahmed Khalil, rhythm guitarist, or
Yes.
guitarist in general, because you
Yes.
didn't specify that.
That's absolutely correct. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome, man. And I have Hussam El Taudi. I butchered your name last time, I'm sure.
That's true. And I was really upset, but it's all right.
Okay, awesome. That is, you play bass, obviously. Okay, so first off, who's been the longest in the band?
Yeah, that will be me.
That's
Ihab.
Ehab.
Ihab. Okay, awesome. Go on.
I have been around since 2007.
Okay,
That's when technically the band started.
okay.
Maybe it's written all over the internet that it's
2005.
yeah, it started in 2005, but technically we started showing up in 2007, July to be exact.
Well, the 2005 thing is sort of like when you're high school kids and you go just like, oh, let's start a band.
Obviously.
So
huh?
this is the 2005 version,
Yeah.
and then by the time you build up
The-
and you're
the grown-up
actually-
version.
yeah, sort
Okay.
of. It started at in 2007.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so there is one, the very first question that came to my mind when I just look at your band. Why Medic? Why the word Medic? The name, first off.
we're healers through music. Of course not. That's not.
There's
that's
a
not
word
true.
that I want to say, but I can't say it.
not
out.
true.
Okay, so
That's not true.
let's say this once and for all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was bandnamemaker.com.
So it's basically
We
just
were
made up.
young, we were foolish, but we just stuck with the name and we love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and
Yeah.
the logo.
And the logo
I
actually
think it's going to be kind of the same thing, isn't it?
no, actually it was made by one of our friends. His name was Mr. Tamer Azab.
Okay.
He came up with the
I know Tim Razab.
you know Tamer Azab.
I
he's
think
a
I
great
do
artist.
know. I know.
Designer, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great artist.
Okay, we'll talk about that off of the air.
Yeah.
So the logo, you just stuck with it. That's it.
Yeah, but we did some refining through times,
Change
but
it.
yeah.
But the thing is, it has like an eagle
A
slash
phoenix.
phoenix, yeah,
Yes.
and it doesn't work with Medic that much. That's why it kind of doesn't work, but it does work at the same time.
Well,
Specifically when you
sort
say
of.
about the healer part,
Yeah,
rising back from the ashes.
Yeah, or exactly. It's more about the mythology part of it. We like to tell stories, not necessarily mythological stories,
Okay.
but we wanna name ourselves the band that really tells stories through music, through lyrics, through song names, through whatever that comes. So the mythological creature and the thing, we just took it. It was just a cool looking bird at first, to be honest. Again, but then
The cool
we
factor
really,
plays a
yeah,
huge part.
exactly. But then
Coincidences are lovely
Yeah.
in this band.
Okay.
Yeah. They work out somehow. I don't know how.
Okay. Second question that I have is, who were the main inspirations behind? Usually, there's a band that gets you. Okay, I want to start playing or pick up a guitar because of that. Me personally, like for example, the song "Broken" by Seether or "Three Doors Down" and "Here Without You." These are kind of guitars that made me want to pick up a guitar. What was your main inspiration for music in general? Because a lot of people, when they listen to your music specifically, they've been picking up the name Opeth a lot
Yeah.
in the SMS
We
specifically.
get that a lot. Yeah.
we get
Yeah.
that a lot, and I think it's because it's one of maybe 2 or 3 bands that influences all of us equally. We
Mhm.
all have very different musical backgrounds and very different musical interests, but we all come down in common to Steven Wilson, Porcupine Tree, Opeth, so sort of progressive in general,
Rock in general.
but
Okay.
towards that direction, the more melodic direction, sort of.
Okay. And tell me.
But let me tell you about my start. Actually,
Uh-huh.
I was raised in a house where my father was a bassist.
Okay, so your music was already in your blood.
Yes,
Okay.
and the influences or the kind of music he played was really very diverse. I grew up in a house where Supertramp was played, where Jethro Tull,
Okay.
where Pink Floyd, and some Arabic composers, Amr Sharara, and people like this. And then throughout, when I was growing up,
Mhm.
I somehow figured the rock/metal influences through bands, starting off with Aerosmith, Scorpions, then evolved into people more complicated like Porcupine Tree, yes, Riverside maybe, Opeth, yes, okay.
Of
For
course.
people who want to listen to the name, Opeth as well, of course, has a huge influence on the music. Of course, this is true. But come on, who can say that all of this kind of music, the different kind of music, can just bring out with your own touch something that's unique, if you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you, Tawdi, what's your main inspiration in regards to
My
it?
main inspiration is actually the band Muse.
Yeah, of course.
Where Chris is actually
One of the most amazing people,
best
yeah.
musicians I've ever so
He plays guitar on the bass.
Yeah, he actually plays guitar on bass. That's true.
Okay, so we talked about the band and the first link there, and now we're going to be talking about the album Ascension.
All right, so if we're gonna be talking about the album itself,
Yeah.
let the Ascension journey start from Khalid because he's the one that actually digested that a lot.
Enjoys it
Now, from the
more than I
website,
do.
from the website, I heard, all right, and we talked about this earlier before, that there is an actual story related to actual historical events.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
So give us like a rundown of.
Well, it all started with just a friend telling us about a cool place in a
Czech.
small town in Czech Republic called Kutna Hora, and it's sort of a church that's decorated with bones.
Okay.
And we just found it
Nothing
really
scary about that at all.
Well, when you're in a metal band, you think, oh, skulls. That's so metal, you know?
Yes, it has
It's
to
just
be
like, yeah.
skulls, guitars, and like fire-breathing
And
motorcycles.
This is how it started. But I am an enormous nerd. I don't leave anything alone. So I started
Okay.
researching.
Don't tell me you actually went there.
I did.
Okay.
And there's actually a live video there from our page about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I actually went for a wedding. But but
Just
then
happened to have skulls around us.
These were
That's normal.
yeah, and then I traveled to Kutna Hora to I had to see it, like,
Okay.
and I did like a quick Q&A from the place itself.
Okay.
This is where the inspiration really began. But then I started researching the history of why there's a church made from bones,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna get into too much details because really we don't really want to tell people what the music is about. We really
Okay.
want everybody to infer what they can.
Okay.
But what we can tell you is it's a journey. There was a war, there was a lot of death, and there was a journey that ended in a very beautiful way where a soul ascends and the body is just laid to rest forever, and just it's sort of a happy ending
Okay.
to a journey of a warrior.
And
who is-
redemption, of
Exactly.
course, elevating
So-
and ascending to a better
Exactly.
place.
It's sort of a journey from the beginning to, and if you even look at the song names, it starts with Ramla, which is earth, which is the beginning, which is the ground,
Mhm.
and then downfall goes down, and then road to oblivion, and then so there's even, like I told you, even there's always clues in our music, whether
Okay.
with the music itself, the names, the lyrics, it just links up.
Mhm.
Then after Road to Oblivion, there's Wandering in Wasteland,
Mhm.
and then there's Of a Blessed Memory, where you remember, oh, I was a father, I was a son, I was a brother, I was someone. I wasn't just a nameless
Fighting
soldier
soul.
that died,
number.
or just exactly,
Mhm.
just someone who died for someone else's war. And this is when they start to rise above. And then there's a little interlude in the middle where Colors is sort of like the mellow track,
I
which
think that's
is
has the saxophone in it.
no, not that
Not
one.
that
No,
one?
that's on the sunrises, which
That's
is
when the sun
actually,
rises, yes,
yeah,
yes.
actually, it's dot and
It's
the
the
sun
sunrise.
rises. So
And-
it's sort of
It's a continuation
And the
for
sunrise.
a long process that happened.
Whose idea was it to bring in the saxophone?
it's this guy.
Actually,
It was a
you know,
guitar
Yeah,
solo.
okay.
It was a
the
guitar
saxophone
solo.
player is his name is Yusuf Khaled Fawzi. He's my brother. He's my younger brother.
Okay.
And back in the day, he was still trying to play the sax. He wasn't a sax player yet,
Okay.
but he worked on himself, and now he is actually a more professional musician than I am.
It's absolutely true.
Like, a big shout out to your brother, right?
Yusuf, yeah.
He's actually a professional musician.
He's a
Like, we all
professional
have day
musician.
jobs,
Uh-huh.
but he's like, this is all he does.
Okay. There is another person that we need to give a shout out to, the drummer that actually plays in that album, because it's a
Absolutely.
different one.
Khaled al-Demirdash.
Big shout out to him.
Yes.
Perfect drummer.
Yes, he
Oh.
is. He is.
Okay, and there is something. I want a little bit of a behind the scenes when you recorded that album. So, Ihab, I want to ask you because I've heard like from a little birdie that this album wasn't recorded. Was recorded here in Egypt, but the mastering and the mixing wasn't actually done here.
Yeah, actually, there were 8 places that this album took place. 6 studios and here in Egypt, in Cairo, and it was mixed in the United States.
Okay.
and mastered in the UK, in London.
Okay. How did that come to pass?
Actually, it was recorded, I think, 3 times.
Three times, yeah, I
Something
think,
like
yeah.
that. But
Around 3 times.
we were not
The album got
satisfied.
deleted before? Or something?
Yeah, actually, we ditched it because we were not satisfied with the quality.
Okay.
We were making people, and we were waiting for a lot of time to get something out. As we mentioned before, we started in 2007.
Mhm.
So, in
You
order
were striving for
an album to come out to life in
Reach
12
maturity.
years,
Yeah.
Okay.
it has to be something that's top notch with quality. A lot of effort was put into it. The music was getting mature over time. A lot of input was being put until it came up with. Let me say personally, I'm 80% satisfied with it because there's
There's
no
always room
musician
for
that can
perfection,
just
yeah.
get satisfied 100% with his music. There's always better if you know what I mean.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Of a Blessed Memory by Medic here on 104.2 NileFM, Egypt's #1 for rock. We still have the other half of the band. We have Kareem, we have Ali, and we have Ihab, the lead vocalist of Medic here in the studio. Now, we talked about the most fun and the most frustrating songs on your album. I want to ask a different one. If you would go back to any song and change something, which song would you go back to, and what would you change? And Ali, since you weren't actually in the band at the
Yes.
time,
Yes.
what would you change later on? Maybe improve on, maybe actually not change all overall,
Okay.
anything like that. Just don't hate on other band members, please, if you have any.
I guess the other members already know the answer. It's the last part of a blessed memory.
Okay.
The different two riffs in the end of the track.
I support this.
Actually, I don't like them a lot, but it's okay. Yeah,
Okay,
these are the main parts.
Ihab,
This has been
You-
going
you've always
for a lot,
wanted
yeah,
to
yeah.
change something
Yeah, yeah.
because every artist wants perfection out of his overall achievement. So, what would you change?
I would change most of the album.
Really?
Yes, of course, and
Okay.
I will keep changing it if I have the chance. But I don't anymore. I took a decision. We took a decision
Okay.
of this is going to be the final output. If you want to do some changes, we can do it on the live versions of it.
That's actually would be a better
And it
idea.
happens, and it
So
happens actually, yeah.
people can get
Yeah.
you, Kareem.
For me, maybe a couple of riffs that I really didn't enjoy playing in the Sunriser.
Okay.
It's just different flavors.
Okay.
And regarding to adding and modifying in tracks, I think we kept adding and modifying even before recording with 1 week.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we kept
It's an
fine tuning.
ever evolving process.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Throughout the
Yes.
recording process as well.
Okay. Let me ask a different question. Are you working on something new?
Yes,
Yes.
we are working on something new.
Can
Actually,
you give us, like, a hint?
We took a decision that we will close the page of Ascension,
Okay.
creating wise,
Changing wise,
It
modifying.
was an endless process. Yeah.
and we were not going to take a break. We are going to start on new material for a new album. That the concept actually is out, but I'm not going to say about it.
Of course, keeping it secret.
It's still in the cooks. But the concept is out, the stories are out, and it's going to be really different and really new.
But it still retains the same story
Storytelling,
concept.
yes.
There is a story
This is the
behind
identity of
it,
the band. We tell stories.
but in music form, of
Yep,
course.
of course.
Okay. Ali,
Uh,
your version. Without giving away too much. Is the sound changing a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
For the
new
better,
album,
obviously.
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope people see that. يعني. بس يعني yes, it's gonna change a lot. The musical structure itself, it's gonna change. It's gonna take a new character different from the old ones, adding new material and adding new sounds. So yeah, it
Okay.
will sound different.
Now I understand because it's a totally different story. That's gonna change the way you approach the new album. So, is that gonna change everything when it comes to the whole style of music, or it's gonna retain the same flavor or style or flair that the band has, but just a new flavor, an added flavor?
Well, I can tell that we do have different inspiration.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to do something different from Ascension,
Okay.
but we're still having our same
Identity.
mixture of exactly our identity, which has mixture of inspiration.
Mhm.
So what I can say that we're going more into adding synth,
Okay.
adding a bit of electronic.
Mhm.
Maybe we're trying to lessen the guitar interpretation of the composition into more groovy. This is where it's going, I think.
And if I might add to that, there's no point of doing the same thing all over again.
Mhm.
If you did something or you did a record, it's out. If
Okay.
you want to listen to this record, you have it online.
If you want something else,
Physical.
here it is.
Yeah, if you're going to do something, you have to do something new. Or
Okay.
there's no point at all.
So first off, we have Muhammad who's saying, "Hey Milik, happy for you. Keep rocking." On Facebook, there is a lot of people giving you shout outs. There is Yumna. Let's go. Lots of love for Medic. There is Miral. Thank you very much for the shout out. Other people like Muhammad and Mustafa Suleiman giving you all shout outs. Stay awesome. And since you guys talked, let me ask first Karim and Ali, because we asked you the same question. Your inspirations when it comes to music.
I usually listen to a lot of genres. I usually started my music with classics and new era, new age, like listening to Yanni and Omar Khairat and chill outs and stuff. And then I was interested into the rock, rockish
Genre,
style, which is Scorpions and Nirvana and such stuff. And then I was when I tried to cover these tracks, I found that it's easy, and I want to challenge myself more, which going to the metal, which is a bit faster. So I was introduced into this, and I got very interested. Since I'm a keyboardist, I'm not a guitarist, so I'm usually interested in the symphonic metal, in the power metal, the kind of genres that has keys and strings and stuff like Nightwish, Epica, and such stuff. So I think this is what helped me in enriching Medic's music by trying to add layers into the music, because most of the music were composed before I joined the band in 2013.
Mhm.
So that was my challenge in trying to add different layers to the music without making it noisy.
Okay, and as for you, Ali?
Well, it started with me. My father listens to hard rock, to old hard rock stuff, old school hard rock, as Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I started listening to these bands when I was young, and it evolved with me to Rush, Dream Theater, to more progressive way. Then it started going to in a more metal way, like Death, like Opeth, like Lamb of God, these directions. Then more of a progressive rock style. Then it evolved to a progressive metalish style.
Okay, so taking all your bands into consideration, we are going to play a couple of bands that you have been inspired by. So coming up next, there is Shallow by Porcupine Tree, and after that, some Opeth as well. There is already a video of a blessed memory here on our social media, all of them. Instagram at NileFM Online, that is our Instagram handle. There's, of course, at NileFM for Twitter and NileFM.com. As well, maybe in the future. And of course, there's going to be Facebook.com/NileFM. There's a video there of the band playing the actual song in our studios, which you are definitely going to enjoy. I have in the studio at the moment, I have Karim, I have Ali, and I have Ihab sitting in front of me looking at me menacingly. So we're already having a lot of shout outs on the Facebook and on Facebook and everything like that. That was just a mixer playing. Okay, where was it? Here we go. There was a way to go, Medic. Awesome people. Stay awesome as usual. And of course, if you have any questions, everybody can send me on 1042. That is our number for the SMS, or go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/NileFM, and our Twitter at NileFM. That's a lot. Okay. So, my question is, you guys have toured in concert here in Egypt, playing in places that I can't name, and as well as some of you went to, in some kind of version of the band, to Dubai as well as judged a competition or something like that, a talent show as well. So, tell me your experience. How did that go? How did that change the band in any way, shape, or form, or anything like that?
We played a lot of shows through the years, and lately we've been trying to penetrate new venues that didn't actually
exist at the time.
No, didn't accept this kind of music generally to be played at. And we reached an agreement and an understanding between us and these venues and we said let's try, and actually it went very successfully for our part at least, and people enjoyed it. As for Dubai, yeah, that was we were invited by an organization there, and we had a really good time. And actually, the fans, we found out that we have fans there.
Okay, awesome.
I personally, I was amazed on stage when I found people singing to our songs.
Okay.
And they were the
So
first time
there's
that
a
I've seen
huge
them.
group there waiting for you guys as well.
The number wasn't that big actually. Here in Egypt, the metal scene and the rock scene is the biggest in the region.
Okay.
And I mean by that the Middle East and
Shout
North
out to
Africa.
the music, the metal and rock underground scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was fascinating, really. Yeah.
Okay. And how did that shape you as an artist?
Sorry.
How did that shape you as an artist? How did
Uh,
that change your performance? Did you find like when you do something in this concert, no, I shouldn't have done that, and don't do it in the next time or anything like that?
I might sound a bit cheesy when I say this, but
It's okay. Nothing is cheesy anymore.
yeah, I feel that being on stage is you are in
The presence of
the environment you should have been since
Different.
you know
Okay.
you know what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to another question that I have. Let me just find it first. Somebody sent. Okay, so again, let me just try and find. I have a lot of questions. You can talk about anything. This is me being unprofessional for a second. Okay, so again, Ascension is your debut album, and you're working on a second one that you're not going to tell me about yet.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
anybody. But people should get excited. Is there like a time frame of when this took 12 years? So I'm imagining the other one.
That's
I'm
a
not
very
gonna
hard
answer that
question.
any time frame at all.
We are working on it,
Okay.
and let's not do the same mistake and make any promises like last time. because
Okay.
We, yeah, but for people to know that we are really working hard. We did not take a break. We will not take a break. We enjoy working on the new album as it's still fresh, and we'll make sure that it's out in the quickest time.
Okay, let me ask a different kind of questions because people like look at bands as they're musicians, they do that for a living. No, people actually have lives besides doing. So everybody has day job. So I'm gonna go from right to left from Kareem. What do you do beyond? Don't say brands. Just a reminder. What do you do beyond? The
I'm a full-time project manager.
Okay, Ali.
Okay, I'm a property advisor at the real estate field.
Okay.
I work in the creative field in advertising.
Okay, can you tell me about Khalil and Khalil works here?
No, it doesn't work here.
He doesn't work here, but joking.
He's around all the time. Yeah.
And in the area, let's say.
Yeah.
And Taudi,
Taudi.
what does he
What
do?
does Taudi do? Taudi.
It's like
does-
Chandler's
does
best.
a-
What
He's
does
an
Chandler
account
do?
manager.
Yeah,
He's an account
he
manager.
does a lot of things. He's a man with a lot of things to do. in life.
Okay, awesome. Your album, they can know more about your album and get their album from the website. And they can get there from our Facebook page, facebook.com/NileFM. You'll find your link to your page where they can get to know more about you, know more about the album, and how to get it as well. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans out there?
May I? Yeah. Please.
He has a speech, everybody.
No, not a speech, because they're not just fans. Actually, we're surrounded by a support system with friends, families, fans, supporters, organizers, foundations. A lot of people have been through the whole journey with us from the very beginning up until now, and pushing us forward here in Egypt, in Cairo, and in the Middle East as well. So I don't want to say names because I will forget a lot of them and they will not be happy with that. But thank you, a big, big, fat thank you to all of them for doing this to us. Thank you very much.
Ali, any words?
Mm.
Not right now.
No, I'd like to thank the music scene, all the music scene. All the people there have been very supportive, very friendly. It's been a very good experience throughout the past years.
And
Through
you're done
all
with us,
the-
Wale?
No.
Okay, Kareem.
I would like to thank the fans actually because they've been listening to bits and pieces of the album for a couple of years and they've been trusting us with having a good, rich album, which hopefully we try to make that happen. And I would like to promise them that different stuff are coming with our same flavor, but with the different
Style.
style.
Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for being here.
Thank you.
I'm going to play another couple of songs that were your inspirations. You played, Ali, you said that your father used to play old school rock.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play you Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine.
Great.
And Kareem, Night Wish. So Over the Hills and Far Away. That comes next. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you very
And
much.
we'll catch you in the next concert, maybe?
Maybe.
Or after the second album? Who
Yeah,
knows
let's do
when?
it tomorrow. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you guys, of course, listening right now, stick around because, of course, great music is still going on until midnight tonight.